Welcome back to the Cave of Wonders Dreamwalkers. I am your Sith Lord Callous for Lord Callous TV. And this is the Rancor Report, where we bring you the dark side of Star Wars news, reviews, theories, and clues. Now, StarWars.com has released an exclusive preview of the upcoming High Republic comic series. So let's talk about it. A Padawan faces the Jedi trials in Marvel Star Wars The High Republic issue number 1. So let's take a look at the article right here. Now it says, there's something at once novel and familiar about the new era of Star Wars storytelling, a fact made immediately clear by the initial pages of the upcoming Marvel Star Wars The High Republic comic series. You'll see things, well, this is a quote, you'll see things you never expected in a Star Wars story, end quote, says writer Kevin Scott. That kind of makes me nervous, but we'll keep going. The era set some 200 years before the events in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Let's stop there for a hot second because, as I understood it, this was supposed to be 400 years, so I guess I was wrong. It's only 200 years before the events in The Phantom Menace. Has only been glimpsed in concept art showing bold new characters and hinting at a more opulent era for the Jedi Peacekeepers. Now we're ready to take our first steps into that sumptuous world with interior pages as well as a cover by artist Phil Noto. Scott was part of the core team of authors who gathered at Skywalker Ranch in 2018 to help forge a path for the interwoven tales that the project would encompass. And I remember seeing that released when all of that controversy happened, when they sort of talked about the Luminous Project a couple of months ago, or almost probably a year ago now. Anyway, quote, I came up with the character of Keeve Trennis in our first Project Luminous Summit, Scott says. Now to see her coming to life through Ario and Mark, their artwork, is wonderful. In the pages below, we find the fierce young Padawan Keeve focused on her training and trying to prove herself to her teacher, the Trandoshan Jedi Master Skier, who seems to have experienced a very common problem in Star Wars. He's missing an arm. Well, they didn't experience any of that in the sequel trilogy, but we shall digress. Anyway, quote, the pages the art team have been putting together are just beautiful, Scott says. Keeve is exactly how I imagined. No, actually, she is a lot more. The facial expressions Ario has given her in these early pages helped inform the way her character responded to events in later issues. That's what I love about comics. It's a true collaboration, end quote. Now, behind the scenes, Scott and Anindito met via Zoom call to discuss the series early on, but the conversation devolved into 2 hours of gushing about their mutual interests. Quote, before we got started on the pages, Ario and I got together and we geeked out completely about our love for comics in general and Star Wars in particular, even getting to the point when it all became a bit show and tell, with us pulling out our favorite Star Wars figures and toys, end quote, Scott says. After all, part of the sun, Lord Callous? That is not what that says. It says, after all, part of the fun of creating Star Wars today is drawing on the decades of lore already in existence, with creators who first fell in love with the saga as fans. Helping build this part of the Star Wars mythos is a dream for all of us at Marvel, says Marvel editor Mark P. For instance, the small winged creatures Keeve encounters on Shuridan are the Zimpi, a race that one of my fellow High Republic story architects, Charles Soule, who is currently writing quite a bit for Star Wars, created for the Lando Calrissian miniseries back in 2016, Scott adds. I loved them then, and when they popped up again in Dr. Aphra, I couldn't resist going to their home planet. One thing we'll learn about Keeve is that she's always picking up waifs and strays on her travels. She just can't help herself, end quote. The article concludes by saying, in StarWars.com's exclusive preview at the debut's issue first few pages, we get our first look at the Master and Apprentice in action as Kiev begins her Jedi trial under the watchful gaze of her Master Skier. Quote, but of course not everything goes to plan, end quote, Scott says. Now, I read through these first few pages and they look pretty good for what they are. Of course, they haven't been colored just yet and the dialogue may not be finalized. I do like seeing the Trandoshan Jedi Master Skier, but there isn't too much else to go on here. I guess we'll just have to wait for the final release. Now, I will be reviewing the issues here on my channel, so if that's something that you're interested in and you're not already subscribed, make sure that you do so on your way out of the Cave of Wonders, Dreamwalkers. But that will do it for today's Star Wars news. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, Dreamwalkers. Will you be taking part in the High Republic or igniting your Crimson Blade in defiance? Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that like button. And then check out my Lore and Legend series where I dive into Star Wars stories from the past. Listen, I do what I love. I hope you loved what I do. This has been the Rancor Report. Until next time.